I rise to speak on the finance bill. Any government, if it has to run, has to collect taxes and has to bring a finance bill. So there is no question of opposing the finance bill. But I may mention that this is the last year of the finance bill in the present forms. As per the finance minister's declaration from the April 2016, we are going into the GST regime, and then most of the central taxes will be subsumed. They include central excise duty, additional excise duty levied under medicinal and toilet preparations, service tax, additional customs duty, special additional customs duty, and central surcharges and cesses. So this is the last time we see the finance bill in this form. And here I have a request to the finance minister that hereafter finance bill will mainly be income tax related demands. For the rest will go into GST. Can we find a way to make the income tax laws easier? I would like a regime in which an ordinary layperson like me can directly read a bill and understand what my income tax liabilities are. The way the IT law is worded makes us dependent on chartered accountants or ready reckoners. This should not happen in a fair regime. I am sure that after the GST is introduced, the finance minister will look into that. This year there was the expectation that the finance minister will raise the exemption limit for the income tax from 2.5 lakhs to 3 lakhs. He has not done so. However, he is given a number of concessions for saving income tax. These concessions include premium for health insurance, loans for self-occupied houses, transport allowance, and he has shown in a calculation that a man can get as much as 4,42,000 concession if he involves deduction under AITC is 1,50,000, 80 CCD is 50,000, deduction on house property loans 2 lakhs, deduction on health insurance premium has been raised to 25,000, and exemption of transport allowance is 19,200. These exemptions are good in the sense that these deductions will drive a person towards saving and will create a social security net for him, especially in the national pension system, new pension system. So that is welcome, but sometimes finance ministers have the habit of springing surprises. So I would not be surprised if the finance minister even now raises the income tax limit to 3 lakhs, for which you will get kudos from the middle classes all over the country. Now, the finance minister has done two things with regard to direct taxes. A, he has promised that corporation tax would be brought to the level of China from 30% to 25% by FY 2017. I have no objection. He is trying to encourage industry, corporates, and if it comes at a level with China, there is nothing wrong. But some people have raised objections to wealth tax being abolished. The minister has mentioned that the cost of wealth tax collection is not commensurate with the actual collections. But he has done something which I appreciate. He has introduced 2% surcharge on the super rich. I do believe that the super rich must pay for the development of the country. To that extent, I support this 2% surcharge on the super rich. Now, sir, as we know, that number of excise duty and customs exemptions are done with a view to helping certain industries or bailing out certain industries. The finance minister has done that. He has increased the... I said that indirect taxes are imposed to either help out or bail out certain industries and prevent certain objectionable practices. The finance minister has increased the customs duty on import of commercial vehicles, which is a good thing. It will be boost for our domestic automobile, big car manufacturers. He has also increased the import duty on steel plates, which will definitely help our domestic steel industry. Now, how much was actually needed and how much has been done is another question. But domestic industry does need protection against the bazaar being flooded with foreign things, and he has given that protection. Mobile handsets manufactured abroad will cost more. Mobile handsets made in India will cost less. Even that is very welcome. Though many of the foreign manufacturers are making in India, sometimes they do not run well. You remember, sir, Nokia, which is the biggest manufacturer of mobile handsets, they set up a big facility in Chennai. But that closed down. They closed down that factory. Now I am told that there is an attempt to run the factory again. So that problem is always there. The excise duty has been reduced on 8 items. And on customs duty has been reduced on 22 items. Excise duty has also been raised to raise revenue. For instance, he has imposed 25% extra duty on cigarettes. That's a very easy target because the big manufacturers, they pay easily on cigarettes of 6 millimeter or more length. So the finance minister is free to increase this duty. The main problem is that excise duty as a whole has been raised from 12 to 12.5%. The education cess has been subsumed in the excise duty. Also, service tax has been increased to 14%. So now what will cost more? Travel in business class, going to restaurants, to entertainment parks, all these things will cost more. Somebody was asking me yesterday, let us go for a dinner at a restaurant because in 2 days the new service tax will be imposed. It will cost 2% more.
Right.
So I shall now slowly wind up. And there is 2% Swachh Bharat cess. The finance minister has also the responsibility of helping with the Prime Minister's pet projects. One is the Swachh Bharat mission. Yesterday we found that the government does not have money to finance the Swachh Bharat mission. Out of the 62,000 crores required, the centre would supply 14,000 crores and the state would supply roughly 5,000 crores. The rest has to be collected from corporates, etc., etc. Now, this 2% Swachh Bharat cess is to finance the Prime Minister's pet project, and there the corporates and their CSR funds are going to play a role. That's why 100% deduction has been allowed on Swachh Bharat donations to Swachh Bharat Kosh and the Clean Ganga Mission. Now, whether that would raise the money required, 62,000 crores, is a matter of some doubt, but the finance minister is free to try. I would say, basically all in all, I do not want to deal with other aspects of the economy. The taxation proposals have been reasonably conservative. The finance minister has not taken any big chances with collection of revenue. After all, he has to run the government, they have to pay the salaries, he has to prepare for the next pay commission, and he has tried to collect as much tax as possible. But I put a rider here. The finance minister is banking on the success of GST. He constantly says that GST introduction will increase our GDP by at least 1%. They have got big projects lined up, and this year if you see budget allocations, many have mentioned that there has been cut on education, on health, on modernization of police forces, etc. The government's reply is standard: we have devolved 42% to the states, so there is no problem. But the main question remains that the gamble has been made by the government in putting big money into infrastructure, 70,000 crores. Now, when will this money give a return, and when will the economy revive enough so that the income of the government increases remains the big question. Any finance minister has to take the risk, and I do not blame our present finance minister from taking the risk. But overall, as I said before, that the proposals relating to IT, excise duty, customs and service tax have been reasonably balanced. Today I objected in the morning I'll finish, sir, to the Public Debt Management Agency being part of the finance bill. The Senior Citizens Welfare Fund, that is not something I think it will be effective easily, because they're saying that they'll confiscate all the money that is lying in post office savings account, PPF, and put that money in a special fund. I do not think it will be so easy to operate. The finance minister withdrew the Public Debt Management Agency in the morning as an afterthought. I hope that he will give a clear idea on how government securities and government debts will be managed in future. With that, sir, I put my comment on the financial proposal. This is a money bill, and these are financial taxation proposals at rest. Thank you.